Welcome to Tampa Home Talk with your host, native Tampa real estate girl, Katrina Madewell, a full-time, passionate, out-of-the-box thinker, love for home ownership kind of realtor with over 21 years of combined mortgage and real estate experience. Tune in every week at this time for expert advice on everything you need to know about home ownership, finance, maintaining great credit, building wealth, and making your everyday life better, and how you can be financially successful today and tomorrow. Remember, love where you live or let Katrina fix it. Now, here's your host of Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today for Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. You're listening to us on the Real Estate Radio Network. Very excited to have our guests in studio today. In talking with them a little bit before the show, I realized that their nonprofit vision and who they are aligns with much of who I am. So I'm really excited to have you guys. And before I get into it, their name is CDC of Tampa, not to be confused with Center for Disease Control.
No.
Thank you, Belix. In studio today, we have Darius Carter, Andy Fernandez, Belix Parks, and Frank Cornier.
Yes.
I didn't butcher anybody's name, right? I got it right?
Not too bad.
Thank you.
So CDC of Tampa Bay, we are live today. So if you want to call in and ask questions, they are community like everything. We're going to get into what they do in a few minutes. But our studio call-in number is 727-441-3000. Again, if you want to call with any questions, we're in studio live today with CDC, 727-441-3000. So, kick it off. We're going to go with your mission. I'll read your mission, and then you guys can break it down for the person listening.
Sure.
So, the mission of CDC of Tampa is to foster economic development through partnerships and programs that serve Tampa Bay communities. So break that down. Break that mission statement down. We'll start with you, Frank. What does that mean?
Okay, well, thank you. That mission is pretty broad, and it covers a lot of things. We were started back in 1992 with the idea that we were going to target East Tampa and alleviate poverty in that area. That area was plagued with teen pregnancy, dilapidated properties, overcrowding, high rates of poverty, unemployment, school dropouts, suspensions, drug use, you name it, it happened in that community. So the vision and the mission initially was to eradicate poverty in that area.
And 22 years ago, when you guys started in 1992, that's where you started?
Correct.
And so now you serve the greater Tampa Bay area as a whole?
That's correct. We target the entire greater Tampa Bay area, providing services in the city of Tampa, in the county of Hillsborough, and we're even reaching out to Pinellas and Pasco counties.
Fantastic. Do you guys have locations there or just in Tampa?
Just in Tampa. We do have partners in the Pinellas area, and we're developing partners in the Pasco County area as well.
We'll talk. We have an office there. I think we can make that happen. So Darius Carter, he's one of the housing counselors over there at CDC of Tampa. Andy Fernandez is also, he's a housing advisor, so I'll let you guys talk a little bit about what you do. Belix Parks, she's foreclosure prevention and housing counselor, and then Frank Cornier is the housing manager. So why don't you guys chime in wherever you feel like it. Talk about what your role is. What are some of the things you do on a day-to-day basis how do you interact with the community, I guess, is what I'm asking you.
Well, I guess I'll start. I'm Darius Carter, and as a housing counselor, my job is basically clients come in that they typically want to buy a house. They don't know the first step. They don't know what to do. They don't know what, Matter of fact, one of my number one questions that I get asked all the time is, what's my next step? And so I'm the next step guy. So basically, we come in, we give everyone an orientation to talk about the process and what we do, and then we do a one-on-one counseling session with everyone, and we do a triage in that one-on-one counseling session because basically no two people are in the same position in reference to the home buying process. So we triage, and wherever you are, we take you from wherever you are in an effort to get you home buy ready to help you purchase a home. So we take basic underwriting guidelines. If it's credit that you need, if it's savings that you need, whatever you need, we meet you where you are. And we're also a part of a larger a pilot program through NeighborWorks called Financial Capability.
Excellent program.
Yeah, that's about, it helps with behavior modification opposed to just literacy, opposed to just giving people information. So, our counseling, our coaching style and processes are based around helping people change behaviors in reference to achieving a different outcome. So we have a great success rate with that program.
I just want to chime in on that for a second, Darius. We actually host Financial Peace University in our office, and we're in the middle.
Great.
We're in the middle of that right now.
Yes.
And so Dave Ramsey, and we're on his endorsed local provider
Great.
network, clearly says that you can, in order to fix a financial position, 20% of it's head knowledge, but 80% of it's behavior.
Exactly.
So that part, I just want to touch on it because it's huge, and I didn't want the person listening to the show to miss that part.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is about behavior modification. If you truly understand 90% of what you learn about money, you learn from your parents. And so a lot of those behaviors are learned. So a lot of times we have to address those issues in order to change those issues. So a lot of times in the process of helping people become home buyer ready so that they're not back in our office receiving foreclosure services, it's really about helping them change a lot of their behaviors to sustain home ownership as well. So although I do deal with the first-time home buyers, it's part of what I do is also foreclosure prevention on the first-time home buyer side. So I'm not a foreclosure counselor, but the objective is to make sure that you maintain home ownership and don't lose it.
Exactly.
That part is huge. I've started out on the mortgage side of the business, and I've done this for 22 years. And I can tell you, in the heat of the market, when people were writing offers and contracts as fast as they could, one of the things that I was adamant about was the fact that, and the pick a pay, right? I'm sure, Belix, you deal with this a lot, right, with foreclosure prevention. So the pick a pay are these negative amortization loans, which they give you literally 3 options to pay, sometimes
Horrible,
4,
horrible.
whatever. But, here's the problem with those loan programs. They were not meant for everyday consumers.
No.
Those negative amortization loans were meant for investors to cash flow in case they didn't have a tenant in the property. They were never meant for someone to purchase that property and make a housing payment on that. So literally, you have your 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you have 15 years, you have interest only, which your balance will never change, and your negative amortization is the lowest payment, which means your balance is going to go up. You're not even paying the minimum amount in order to essentially amortize that loan. So your balance is going to go up.
I seen that. Well, let me chime in. I seen that mainly 2009, 2010, 2011 foreclosure prevention counseling. Rarely do I see those loans now in the office, and I thank God for that. That once we took care of it around that 2009, 2010, 11 era, we was able to take care of at least some of them. But horrible for the clientele.
It's ironic that you bring that up because I used to be a wholesale account executive for World Savings, which is the bank that created that loan.
Wow.
So
That's all they sold.
Shame on you, Darius. Shame on you.
That was we were a one-trick pony. That was all we sold. And you're absolutely right. But at the same time, World Savings was a wealth institution, and their average depositor had over $100,000, and they had much more savvier clientele. Where it went south was when other banks copied that product and they gave it out to the general public. And a lot of the indexes were not good, and a lot of people got hurt with those products. I have to say, it was not fair. You'd have instead of an MTA or whatever, you'd have a LIBOR, or it was just ridiculous.
And Darius is talking about different types of indexes. So a lot of people have heard of the T-bill or the LIBOR. They're basically just different indexes that calculate what the new rate's going to be. So, the sad part is they're considered predatory loans. So they're not around anymore.
No.
And subprime always had its place in the market too. I started out at a BC mortgage shop, and it had its place. But I think, Frank, you mentioned this, it's changing the family tree.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and we had Buccaneer players in our office that, these guys sometimes they don't come from money, and then they're hit with all this money and they don't know how to manage it.
Right. This is true. And funny that you talk about NFL players, because I tell people NFL stands for not for long, because that's how long they are actually football players. Not very long.
Not long.
They become instant millionaires overnight. If they didn't know how to manage money before, they got a bigger problem now. It's the same problem. It's just they got a lot more money, and they spend it the way they used to spend whatever little money they had before.
I hear that all the time. People say, well, if I just made more money, I could pay off my debt. No. If you make more money, you're just going to spend more money.
That's right.
Absolutely. Money only makes you more of what you already are. So if you're frugal without it, you'll be frugal with it. If you're spendthrift with it, then obviously you're going to spend it when you do have it.
So some of the programs that you guys offer are youth services. I thought that was very interesting. And again, I have CDC of Tampa in studio today for Tampa Home Talk and array of products. We're going to get into some of these things today. If you have questions for CDC of Tampa and what they might be able to help you, a neighbor, or someone in your community, you can call us in studio, 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. Talk about your youth services program.
Sure. I'll start off by saying it's affected a lot of youth in the East Tampa community. Stopped pregnancy rates, high school has graduation rates have went up. We specifically deal with performing arts aspect of it, vocal lessons, arts, music production. We have an in studio for all kids to come in and, do their music, have fun. It's an outlet for them. Poetry, spoken word poetry is fun when we have our showcases. They get to showcase the music they produced. They get to showcase all their written poetry. It's exciting. We also have through the youth leadership movement, YLM. Excuse me.
What does YLM stand for?
Youth Leadership Movement.
Okay.
And what it does, it helps college-bound students. Andy knows about that. He actually helped with some of those students. We mentor them. We walk through the process of college applications. We take them to tour the Florida colleges and give them an opportunity of being one of the kids out of their family to reach college level.
So let's break this. There's the programs that you offer, but tell me who these people are. So describe to me one of these youth, and you don't have to give out any names, but let's describe a youth person that's going through your program. Tell me who they are, what's their circumstances like, and what are they going through when they get to CDC of Tampa, and where do they land?
And although I'm a housing advisor at CDC of Tampa, this hits close to home, and they are who I used to be just 12 years ago. Single-family household, living in poverty, living in housing, living in an environment where everyone had the same mentality, and it was a poverty mentality. It was a scarcity mentality. So
can you talk about that a little bit more? I just want you to add on that, because I know what that means and you know what that means, but I'd like you to explain a little bit more about what you mean when you say a poverty mentality.
That poverty mentality, it consists of many things, but it's a perpetual generational way of thinking, a culture that you were dealt this bad hand, and that's just who you will be for the rest of your life. So
the woe is me, or this is where I am.
Exactly, and that's why our programs help so much, because we have our alumni come back and teach and mentor and show these people what could happen if they applied themselves in school, if they applied themselves in work, if they actually set out a goals program and reverse engineer the life that they want to come to where they are now. So basically connecting the dots.
So share that for me. You went through the program, right, Andy? So tell me, where did you start? What's the first thing you did when you went through the program?
Well, the first thing is finding a mentor, being aligned with the mentor. Once you're aligned with the mentor, that person could find, like Darius said earlier, will meet you where you are, and then from there, find out where you want to go, and then connect the dots, reverse engineer that.
Getting the parents connected.
That absolutely. Getting the parents involved is another thing, because a lot of the parents, they don't trust, and that's part of the poverty mentality, where they don't trust. Even if it's not, you say nonprofit, they've been burned before. Again, they live in poverty, and they live in they've been burned before.
And they don't know better.
And they're absolutely sorry to say sometimes they just do not know better, and sometimes it's just giving that helping hand.
But I also want to add to that not all of our clients come from poverty.
No.
We have clients that come through that don't qualify for down payment assistance, that don't that use our services. So it's not something that's just targeting low to moderate income borrowers or clientele.
You're talking about basically lower socioeconomic class, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, we have clients that come through our office who make $100,000, $200,000 a year that use our services. So, yes, it is. We were founded in East Tampa, and our mission, initial mission, was to eliminate poverty in East Tampa. But a poverty just because you may be one of those NFL players, just because you may have some money doesn't mean that you still don't have a poverty mindset. So, I just want to make that very clear that it's not just, we serve clients from every socioeconomic class in the Tampa Bay community for foreclosure services, for children's services, for even home buyer services. So I'd like to make that very, very clear. Yes. It's very, very important that because we have a lot of great information. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you know better.
That's right. It's, again, the education, changing that family tree like Frank was talking about. You're pretty quiet over there, Frank.
Yeah, he's an observer, and then he'll attack.
Yeah, I'm taking it all in. What Andy was talking about is a vicious cycle. It's like a current. There's this exercise that the kids do in a pool, and they all go in one direction, and they get the water going in one direction. And then when you try to get out of that, it's very difficult. And that is how I visualize the cycle of poverty and the cycle that some people are in.
Thank you for sharing that, because I think people like reference points like that. I know I do, and it helps a lot of people, and I'm sure it's going to help somebody listening connect the dots and make a visual. Yeah,
and it takes a great amount of effort to get out of that current. You either need someone to help pull you out, or you individually have to exert a great deal of momentum and pressure and strength to get out of that cycle. And that's what Andy talked about. If you have a mentor, if you have someone who says, I don't want to subscribe to this philosophy and this poverty mentality, I want to get out of this, and they begin to self-educate. Education is the key. I love and subscribe to everything Dave Ramsey talks about. I was an endorsed local provider in upstate New York. I actually have a picture that I've shown my staff that I have with Dave Ramsey and his wife in his house in Tennessee. So I subscribe to everything he says, and everything he says is right on. And a lot of that fits into what we teach.
Yes, definitely.
We teach to live within your means. We teach people to decrease their debt. We teach people to use credit wisely. We teach people.
That's an interesting point too, because I told you we were facilitating Financial Peace University, and we talked about that.
Right.
And people a lot of times will ask my opinion, and it's tricky because, when you don't have a credit score, your insurance rates can go up. There's a number of things that can go hand in hand with that. We have to take a very quick break here at Tampa Home Talk, and we are going to continue this conversation. When we get back in just a minute, we have CDC of Tampa in studio. This is Katrina Madewell, Tampa Home Talk. Back in a minute.
This is Melissa Rogers, owner of SEC Inspection Services. We're so glad that you're listening today, that we're offering you a special deal. If you're purchasing a home, you can have $50 off your full home inspection. And if you're already a client of ours, we're offering 10% off of any other service that we offer. Just give us a call at 727-786-4663 or visit us on the web at secinspection.com.
Aaron Davis here, owner of Hillsborough Title, serving all of Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. Thanks so much for rejoining us today. We have CDC of Tampa in the house this afternoon. Talked a little bit about youth service programs, but I want to get into, we're going to ping it all over to Miss Belix Parks next. Talk about the foreclosure prevention and housing counseling program that you have over there, because that's a huge piece, right? We were chiming in on those negative AM loans, the balances that go up, the ones that people can never get out of. We have one we're short selling right now, actually. The neg AM loan still around.
Foreclosure prevention, I'm a guru in that, to say the least. We at the CDC of Tampa serve basically as the third party person between the person and the mortgage company. We help with budgeting. We help with calling the mortgage company to try to work out any options with them. We help with setting financial goals along through the process for foreclosure prevention. We help with responding to list pendants, court order documents, anything.
I'm going to pause you there for a second.
Yes.
So list pendants is essentially where someone's in the beginning stages of a foreclosure process. We're a judicial state here in Florida, which means the bank has to serve them notice.
Yes.
And so the list pendants is what you're referring to there. And I'll break down any jargon terms that we can talk in our sleep on.
Yes.
But I just like to break that down in its most simplistic form for the person listening.
Perfect. Thank you. We help with responses to that. So if anybody's in a financial need and
those need to be responded to.
Yes,
I mean, most of
do.
those have 20
Within
calendar
20 days.
Yeah, you need to respond within 20 calendar days. If you don't respond, it's going to go a lot faster than if you do.
It can move within 30 to 45 days straight to final foreclosure judgment. And that's hard. It's hard. A lot of people don't know this. They go to lawyers. Not saying anything about my lawyer friends, but they go to them.
I think people are scared. They don't know what to do. They had a sheriff just show up at their door and give them paperwork, and they don't know what to do.
They don't. Well, I'm going to tell you what to do. You come to, you call us. My number, 813-231-4362, extension 308. My email is Belix, is B as in boy, ELIX as in x-ray .parks@cdcoftampa.org.
And Belix, a lot of people listening are driving or they're in the car, so it's hard for them to jot that stuff down.
Yes.
But if you just go to TampaHometalk.com,
Perfect.
we have all of their show cards on our website, and Belix's information is on there. So if you're driving and you missed it, don't get frazzled. We'll get it to you. TampaHometalk.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and our off-air number, 813-377-2775. You can call us or text us, and we'll put you in touch with Belix, 813-377-2775.
Perfect. We just to go through a regular entry level of our services. You come in Tuesday night. We have an orientation. It's at 6 p.m. At the orientation, we go over the services we provide. The same thing I said, we serve as a third-party person between you and your mortgage company. We help with all the details of the prevention aspect of it.
Belix, on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock, is that specifically dedicated for foreclosure prevention?
Yes.
Okay.
And first-time home buyers, which Darius will talk about in a minute, is Monday nights at 6 p.m. But my class is Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. We go over any questions you may have. I don't see you that night because we actually have to do it during business hours, where I'll go over your specific case at that time. But Tuesday night, 6 p.m. is your first step in getting a counseling appointment with us. in the counseling appointment, I will.
How long is that? How much time should someone set aside if they want to come?
An hour.
Okay.
Yes,
and is
ma'am.
there any child care provided or anything if someone can't get away or they have kids?
You can
they
bring your
them
kids with you. We have enough room. We're kid friendly. We understand that. Trust me. All of us have multiple kids. Anyway, so you can come on by.
Trust me, I do
Tuesday
too.
night.
I'm two over my limit.
Yeah, I have 3. And I have a little baby. Anyway, 10 months old. Shout out to Maverick. Anyway, so at Tuesdays, that's the first step. You'll get your counseling appointment. We help the entire state of Florida.
How long can someone wait to expect to have an appointment? And is it based on urgency level? Like if someone
Yes,
got
it
a list
is.
pendants 15 days ago compared to someone that hasn't been served?
Yes. The severity cases that have cell dates, I will put it the next day or the following day, depending on my availability. Other appointments, about a week out. And that's typically because I'm already filled for that active week, which will be that Wednesday, Thursday. And Friday is our administrative day. We do have to paper push people, so I'm sorry about Fridays, but we do have to do that in our office. So it's Monday through Thursday, you'll get an appointment up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We schedule those. Otherwise than that, part of the state of Florida that we provide, we have a program that my dear friend Andy sitting next to me will talk about. The Florida Hardest Hit has 2 components of that. I'll let you, but we do service the entire state of Florida. That's important. That's for people who might be tuning in from out of this area that we're in. We service, we help people who are unemployed or underemployed through no fault of their own. That will be their specific hardship. On my side, for foreclosure prevention, which deals with modification requests, forbearance agreements, short sale. We do transition people out the household. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but we are real with you. We have to let you know whether you cannot retain this property. So, of course, short sales and deed in lieu, we do go over that as well. But I do want to refer over to the Florida Hardest Hit side, which is very, very important.
And before you jump into that, because
Yes.
you were talking about short sale and deed in lieu, and not just because I sell real estate, but because Florida is it's a recourse state. They can pursue that type of stuff. And I personally believe that it's better for someone else to have choice and some control over that
Yes.
situation, which they can do with a short sale.
Yeah, definitely.
So when we get the letter, if it's not favorable or it's not, they're not waiving deficiency, meaning they're not going to come after them for the difference, we can try to renegotiate that stuff at that time.
Yeah, and we talk to them about that. We hold their hand through this process, because when you're going through foreclosure, your mind is clouded. You can't make these decisions for you. We do talk the real talk, though. That's what you have to realize. Some people are so attached to their homes that they don't want to talk about short sale. But one thing that I know, men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie. So if you're not able to stay in that house, that's how it goes. So we're heading over to Andy so we can talk about Florida Hardest Hit, the guru over here.
Come on, Andy.
All right, it is 5:30. You're in your car right now. You or somebody that you know has been let go from their job, and they are worried. It's a stressful time. I've been fired several times. It's not
Oh my
the
goodness,
greatest of
really?
feeling. All right, so we all know what the unemployment is here in Florida. I've seen one of my clients was a software developer and went from $80,000 to just receiving $275 a week. How does someone live? It's barely how you can even drive and eat off that. Imagine paying your mortgage. So this is where the Florida Hardest Hit program comes into play. The Florida Hardest Hit program is from the Florida Corporation of
Florida Housing Corporation.
The Finance Corporation, absolutely. And it is engineered to help those who have lost their jobs and can no longer pay their mortgage. If they could be in arrears up to $18,000, and if you qualify, they will pay your arrears to get you current. And if you qualify for the second portion of the program, they will pay your mortgage for going a year forward, or until you overcome your hardship, whichever comes first. So what we do is, once you do qualify for the program, every quarter you have to check in with your numbers. We need copies of your bank statements, your income, your mortgage statement. Make sure nothing has changed. And if you're still over the 31% of your mortgage,
Talking about the housing ratio, right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
the PITI.
So lenders are going to look at in general, they're going to look at your ratio. So how much are you spending in housing compared to your income?
Exactly. And if you exceed that number because you're just not making what you were before, so even if you became employed but you're still under that number, you're still underemployed, you still qualify for the funds. And again, for those who qualify, the program is not for everyone. You had to have unemployment or underemployment to no fault of your own.
Due to the economy. That's important to say, due to the economy, because a lot of people apply for this assistance if they're divorced, chopped off their arm, went through some type of other hardship.
Yeah.
This is due to the economy. That means either you got laid off or you had a sudden reduction of hours and days to your pay solely. And you want to plug it. Also, our referral code is 132 in the website.
Absolutely. Again, I'm sure you guys are driving out there, but if you just Google Florida Hardest Hit, you will see our website. You will see the state website on there. Our reference code for our agency is 10032. All right.
And if you're listening to Tampa Home Talk, we post all this information. So any numbers, anything like that, we're going to post it on our Facebook page, put it out there on Twitter. Make sure you have the information so they can connect with you guys, Andy.
All right. Now, briefly, I'll go over the second program that's under the Hardest Hit umbrella. Is for those people who are still employed. They're basically severely underwater. And severely underwater to the state of Florida here in this program means over 125% underwater. So if we were to get an appraisal today and then divide that by the number that's on the that's on your principal balance on your statement, does that come out to over 125%? If it does, you may be able to qualify for the principal reduction program. In this program, we'll give you up to $50,000 to reduce the principal of your home to get you right side up. If it takes less than $50,000 to get you right side up at 100%, it may take $25,000. Then that may be an option you would want to take. Again, a lot of people do not qualify for this program, so make sure, it's very important that you read the frequently asked questions and do some research so you don't waste your time, because it is a lot of paperwork that we ask for.
Is that a modification program?
It is not a modification.
It's a grant?
It's a one-time lump sum to reduce your principal, and then from there,
So that's a grant from your nonprofit? Or is that a state pool? Like, where's that from?
Exactly, a state pool, absolutely. And they do put a soft second lien on your home, so you can't sell your home for the 5 years. If you do, let's say if it's advantageous for you to sell your home because it has that equity, then you may have to pay some money back. And again, that's prorated within the next 5 years.
That's what I was looking for. So it's a soft second that gets filed that's there but goes away after 5 years.
After it drops right off.
And sorry, Andy. It's important to say that this specific program, you have to be current. So you can't be in delinquency in the past 24 months. That's another major confusion when people apply for the Florida Hardest Hit and they try to go ahead and apply for principal reduction. It doesn't work. You have to be current with this
So
portion.
this is for anybody that's current on their mortgage and just is looking to get a reduction.
Yes, anyone who's, again, meets the criteria of being over 125% underwater on their home. And one thing, though, too,
are there income limits on that or anything?
There is.
Okay.
They have to be under 140% AMI. And, again, you could look...
AMI means?
Area medium income. And you could look up your county on the HUD website. Just do some research on that, and you could find out. And that, again, that's prorated also with how many occupants are in your home. So you can't exceed that, and you have to have bought your home before January 2010. Those are the big three qualifiers on there. There's several others, but those are the big three that disqualifies the most people. So again, and what some people do, they get the principal reduction program, they get that big reduction, and then they refi or mod after that, and they get a lower payment essentially. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that for everyone.
But you could inquire into it.
Absolutely.
How many families would you say you've helped with that program? Wow. Do you have a ballpark idea, or even this year, do you know? You guys track those numbers?
Wow.
Is that a frank question?
It's an insurmountable amount. It's hundreds and hundreds of people that we've helped through both of those programs.
I know in our pipe. When we first started the program, let me just say that it rolled out last year, Andy. I think it was principal reduction.
Principal reduction rolled out September 2013, but the Florida hardest hit's been around since 2011, I believe, 2012, and I believe there's over 300 families that have benefited from both programs.
The first 2 days we opened the principal reduction program, we got 900 applicants. So it's serious. Not all of them qualified, but it was that many people that came through our agency.
You don't know how many of those 900 made it, do you?
I want to say a good, we want to say 450 out of those clients, and that's including with the Florida hardest hit side as of right now. But I know our applicants, about 900 in 2 days we received at the CDC of Tampa.
How did you get that many applications in 2 days? Like, were you pushing out newsletters to people in your group? And
no, actually, Florida Housing did the marketing. Anything that's new, people that are in foreclosure are having issues with foreclosure. As soon as something comes out and it says principal reduction or we have help for you, everyone and their mother's applying. That's what happened. So that's why we end up getting about 900 people in 2 days.
Not just that, I think when they said, hey, this is limited to the first 25,000 applications, that put in the sense of urgency, and we got so many applications. We were flooded. I literally had files up to my knees. And I know I'm short and all, but it was ridiculous. This time, so they closed it down 2 days after.
He's only like 4 foot tall, you guys.
All right. We closed it down about 2 days later, and not we did, but the state of Florida did. And then they opened it back up just this last April. They put no time limit in, so people are taking their time. They're actually reading the questions, and that's better for us because we're getting more qualified applicants. And again, it benefits you if you go ahead. Again, if you're interested in the principal reduction program, go ahead on, just Google it, Principal Reduction Florida, and you'll see the website on there. And remember, reference code, and I know you can remember this, 10032, and that'll get you.
That's your agency code, right?
That is our agency code to the CDC of Tampa, absolutely.
So CDC of Tampa, you took it right out of my mouth. Our special guest of the day. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. My producer back there, Chris, is giving me a quick wink. So we're gonna have to take a very quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Aaron Davis, owner of Hillsborough Title. Hillsborough Title is a local, family-owned title agency here in Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. We've served Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Call us at 813-712-8888 or visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? Products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
Hi, this is Melissa Rogers, owner of SEC Inspection Services, where we offer full inspections and insurance inspections. Give us a call at 727-786-4663 or visit us on the web at secinspection.com.
Welcome back to Tampa Home Talk. So glad to have you back this Thursday afternoon. In studio today, CDC of Tampa. They are a non-profit, making the community better organization. Did I sum it up?
Yes.
In a couple words?
CDC in the house.
So youth services, they do a lot of things to help kids not only get on track, but educate and just change that mindset. I love that. Career services, we didn't spend a whole lot of time on that. So if someone wants to chime in on career services in a minute, you help with, I hate to say credit repair, but credit improvement. Can we say credit improvement?
Credit counseling,
Is that fair?
coaching, yes.
And then financial literacy. I'd love to touch on each one of those things before we have to wrap up in the next 15 minutes. So where would you guys like to start?
Where do we want to start?
Let's talk a little bit about credit. Credit is one of those things that everyone comes in that wants to buy a house or wants to do anything. But the number one question I always ask is, what's credit? And you know, surprisingly, most people don't know what credit is. I get all kinds of answers all over the place, all over the globe. And really, it's a simple answer to the question. Credit is nothing more than a measure of how you pay your bills. There's no magic pixie dust on how you fix credit. It's really a matter of pay your bills on time, and you'll have good credit. That's it. So, you know, people want to come to our credit class because they think that we're going to, be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat, but no one wants to come to our budget class. And
No one.
And budgeting is really the cornerstone, is about how you pay your bills or having a spending plan. So having a spending plan is the key to paying your bills on time, which is the key to having good credit, which again lends back to changing your behaviors. And behavior modification, once again, we get back to that, is the key. And being able to write a budget, follow a budget, reconcile at the end of the month, and then turn around and be able to change your life every day for the rest of your life. Because once again, I think our host mentioned that she made reference to, with bad credit, the amount of money that you pay more for products and services like insurance, like mortgages, the amount of interest that you will pay just for having bad credit with a mortgage is astronomical to someone who would have good credit. So, but credit is really most people's biggest hurdle, but really they don't have a credit problem. They have a wisdom problem. So our key is to really helping the clients facilitate long-term sustainable change in order to produce different results.
And the B word too, right? Budget. Everybody dreads the B word. It's like the bad word, like budget. People are like, oh, no budget.
No.
Like even if their credit's good, even if they don't really overspend, people just hate to budget. Like I can't tell you how many people we say, do you have a written budget? And they look at you like you have three eyes.
Exactly. That's why we call it spending plan.
Yes. We mask it.
We stay away from that budget portion. What I tell my clients is you can always put in special events in your spending plan. As long as you have the ability to do so, you can do that. So you don't have to think of it as a restriction on your life. You could just live be in your means and basically just make a spending plan that will cover those anniversaries, cover those special events. You don't have to restrict those from your life. CDC of Tampa is solutions driven. We're about solutions. We'll work with you to end poverty. We'll work with you to find what best suits you, one step at a time, hand by hand. Coaching sessions. Darius is an expert. I'm an expert. We both love each other because of that. We're really solution driven. We love financial education. We love to help people achieve financial freedom.
Yeah, and another point that
I'm hearing you guys have a love-hate relationship. That's what I'm hearing.
Sometimes.
But another point that I like to make, we understand that change is very difficult. And a lot of times we are creatures of habit. And so our program is designed from the first-time home buyer perspective. We don't want to just give you information and send you out on your own to figure it out. Our first-time home buyer program is set up to give you 6 minimum, or we try to say maximum, but some people need a little bit more hand-holding to become your accountability partner. So we try to give you 6 monthly counseling sessions to hold you accountable to the plan that we set forth for you. So, when you come in that second month and you have not followed the plan, There are consequences.
There are consequences. I've seen it. He'll go.
What are they? I want to hear.
I want to tell on you. Can I tell on you,
Don't tell on me.
Darius?
Don't do it.
No, I can't.
Well,
he literally
Heck yes,
will
you
go,
are.
Okay.
You guys already opened up the Pandora's box.
So let me just make it short. All I seen this man do is go out and grab a tree branch from outside. Like, we were 10 years old and we're about to get switched. And yes, he did come into the office, hit that on top of the file cabinet. Tell the
deal.
truth.
I'm about
You
meeting
did that.
people where they are. And some people culturally understand switch, or
Yes.
some people understand
You just
pow
gotta
pow.
shake them till they listen. Shake them.
Yeah, some people understand timeout. So I have a timeout corner in my office. So I'm really about results. I'm really about meeting people where they are. And if we got to get a pow pow, a switch, or a timeout, or whatever it is,
It's necessary.
I'm about results. So
It's necessary.
Down to basics.
It's necessary. And to piggyback off what Darius is saying about the 6 counseling appointments, we use a database that's amazing. When I tell you, it records your first initial snapshot of your progress. So your credit, your savings, your debt, and everything in one snapshot. And then at the end, so then you're not blindsided. You're not saying, okay, where am I going? Is this really changing? Is this really happening? We can actually pull it up and say, you're changing. You're increasing your savings. You're decreasing your debt. You're making a change. So let's keep on going. Let's make these financial goals a reality.
Do you guys suggest Mint for people? Because I love Mint. Have you used Mint.com?
I use Mint.com.
Okay.
And I have that. It routes it to my phone. For the
Mint tracks everything. Like, even if you don't set up a budget, it's going to do one for you. It's going to say, this is your spending habits, and you're over budget.
It tells you unusual spending on such and such.
I get unusual spending more than I would like to see, but I see it.
And I use it. What I tell my clients, I use it. You know, I try to live by the practice what I preach. So when I do refer them and say, look, if you're tech savvy, try Mint.com. They tried it and they love it. Some of my professors from my college were like, you're awesome. It's incredible. Like, it tracks my budget. That's what I needed in my life. So that's what I like to hear, solutions driven.
I just bought stuff for a mobile studio so we could set it up in our office or whatever. So, of course, I bought that, and I get my Mint thing. Unusual spending on, we don't really know what you just bought. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, another really great resource that's also free, that we were just at a NeighborWorks conference in Orlando just 2 weeks ago, and I was referred to powerpay.org. And it's a free website that helps you facilitate reducing your debt. So you put all your bills in, what the interest rates are, and you basically put into the program how much extra you can pay and what order you want to pay them off, and it will show you how much you're going to save, how much total interest you will pay. It is really, really amazing. I've been referring several of my clients to that website, and I've been getting calls back, oh my God, you're a saint. It's like, I didn't build the website, but it is pretty great.
Here's the thing I want to touch on with you mentioning that, Darius. It's interesting that it lets you pick, because one of the things that we teach and we share, especially when people go through Financial Peace University, is the debt snowball. And so, and you guys have been through it, you know what the debt snowball is. Frank's shaking his head. But I will tell you, and I'm going to share a personal experience. One of the people that's in our class, and I think we're the 5th or 6th week in, we literally, I got ahead of it. They couldn't wait. But this is kind of one of the things, the husband and the wife, right? They're the old stat that they're more likely to get it. The couple that is more likely to get a divorce has $5,000 in credit card debt than the one that has $5,000 saved, or maybe it's $10,000, whatever the number is. But this couple came in and they had quite a bit of credit card debt and other debt, more than a lot of the other people in the class. But it was interesting because we went ahead and had our lender pull a credit report. And then what I did, and she's like, what is this? I can't wait for the debt snowball class, Katrina. You have to tell me what it is. Explain it now. So I did. I explained it. We wrote it all out. And it's a matter of, yes, you might have something at a higher interest rate. But if you take the debt that has the smallest balance and you pay them off in that order, regardless of interest rate, you're going to gain a lot more traction, because whatever that minimum payment is, whether it's $50, $75, you're going to take that $50 or $75, you're going to put it on the next thing, and it's good. It's a snowball. It's called the snowball effect for a reason. And so I'm proud to say that family has already paid off 4 cards. Wow. And we're not even halfway through the program.
And that's because, and that's what it would what Dave Ramsey teaches, get the small wins. You get that momentum. And when you got couples like that, the most...
It's encouraging for people. It encourages them to keep going.
Absolutely. Right. And with couples like that, you have to always start, because there's always one part of the couple, either the female or the male, they want to hit the ground running, and the other person's not ready. And he says it all the time. You have to start with the end in mind. What's the why? What would it look like in 5 years if you're debt-free? What would it look like 20 years if you're debt-free? So instead of starting where we are now, this is what we are, this is our deficit, this is what we'll look like. So this is where we'll be at right now if we have no debt. So start with the end in mind, have that vision, and then both agree on it. And then again, reverse engineer that to where you are today. You take care of your days will take care of your weeks, you take care of your weeks will take care of their month.
So, and you know what? I'm listening to this and I'm so excited, because this gives, what we do is, this is a love. You have to love what we do, and we do love what we do. But this is an opportunity for all of you listeners out there to have, a personal financial coach to hold your hand through this process and help you make those decisions, those tough decisions. I get clients.
Will hold your hand.
Yeah, I get clients that come through all the time. I think that they don't go to the bathroom without calling me. I'm like, really? Like, okay, yes, you can do this, and but really, it gives you the opportunity to have someone to ask those questions to. And we are a NeighborWorks affiliate, HUD certified counseling agency. So, we give an unbiased opinion.
And we have the training to back up all our expertise on what we give to the clients. We have the training, HUD and NeighborWorks affiliated.
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about financial literacy and how important that is in our community, how important that is, especially after what happened with the recession and everything else. People have short memories. I don't think people realize or remember how hard things were. And if you don't learn from what happened in the past, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're destined to commit those same mistakes. And that's what I like about the financial literacy that we offer, is we teach people at a basic level, basic money management, how to stay away from certain scams. Do not use check cashing places. Do not use payday loans.
Oh, God, please say that again.
Do not use check cashing places. No payday loans.
No payday loans. No cash advances.
It's a hole I see people almost never get out of.
Right. That's known as fringe banking, or the fringe market. Right. That market, some people will say it's designed for a certain segment. I don't think it's needed. I don't think we need pawn shops. Personally, if people manage their money better, if they lived within their means, if they found ways of increasing their means and control their debt, you wouldn't need to pawn anything. You wouldn't need a payday loan. If you had an emergency fund, there would be no need to pawn your ring because something happened, because your refrigerator broke. And those are things that we teach in financial literacy.
Hey, Frank, how long is that financial literacy course? How long is that? Darius, you know?
Well, there's different segments of financial literacy. We do classes regularly on different topics. Like, we'll do a class on home inspections. We'll do a class on budget. We'll do a class on credit. We'll do a class on whatever's needed. But we try to mix it up. We're also in the process of developing a post-purchase class. All of our classes and coursework fall under financial literacy.
Yes.
Because everything that we do really is about helping you not only build income and wealth, but also maintain it. So it's all financial literacy.
Darius, you guys have been awesome. You really have. Andy, Belix,
yes.
Frank, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
You guys, I'm going to add a third day. Like, I know you said Monday and Tuesday you guys are in at 6, but I'm going to put you in there at Wednesday to do financial literacy.
We work 8 days a week.
CDC of Tampa Bay, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. This week, we're out.